The first day I showed up at the Sterling estate pretending to be the girlfriend, my paymaster gave me a final warning. My little uncle's a tough nut, but don't worry, he basically ignores me. I flashed him an okay sign. Relax, I never choke on stage. I'd taken the money, so I had professional ethics to uphold. Then the second I recognized the uncle's face, I spun around and tried to bail. Adrian caught my wrist. Where do you think you're going? I know he looks ice cold and impossible, but I paid you. I felt like crying. I waved him off. You never told me your uncle is Julian. Tough wasn't the issue was, I'd already tackled this man. Before we go on, subscribe and tell us where you're listening. Take the cash, solve the problem. When I heard there was a $200,000 deposit, and all I had to do was play the nightmare girlfriend so his family would worship the real one, with another 800 grand after the mission, I said yes without blinking. It wasn't bowing to money, I simply loved the profession of girlfriend. If you could call it a profession. The client was a rich kid who'd dated the same girl since high school, but the parents refused to bless it. So he wanted me to storm in first, a human hurricane, to make the next girl look like an angel. Easy money. So, day 1. I painted on smoky evil girl eyes and stuck a $10 temporary tattoo on my neck. Adrian took one look and gave me a thumbs up. Worth every penny. I flipped my hair. Obviously. Oh, almost forgot, does your actual girlfriend know? I didn't need drama. He beamed. Of course. I'm a 24/7 dream boyfriend. I don't do stupid misunderstandings. People who can't communicate aren't my style. Me, good. Still, something in his tone sounded snarky. Who he was throwing shade at, I had no clue. Today the Sterlings were having a family lunch. While Adrian drove toward the estate, he briefed me. The biggest boss is Grandma. My mom spooks easily. One look at you and she'll love any girl I bring home next. I pressed my lips in a polite smile. Thanks, I feel so complimented. Also, my youngest uncle, ultra-level hard mode. But he never meddles and rarely shows, so don't stress. Bottom line, today's targets are my parents. I nodded. Got it. 90-minute nap later, the mansion I could never afford in 10 lifetimes slid into view and I was instantly awake. This whole villa is yours? It was huge, yup. Adrian glanced up. Technically, every house on this ridge is ours. Me. Invisible tears of envy. But I stayed petty. Nice, but it's in the middle of nowhere, my butt is numb. You live in South Hills, the estate's in North Ridge, different suburbs. Otherwise, stop, I cut in. Any further and you're just bragging. I hate rich people. Adrian shrugged and shut up. Let's roll. Behind his back I patted my poor jealous heart. At the main doors he paused so I could step up. I snapped into battle mode and hooked my arm through his. I'm ready. Adrian grinned like a devil. Hope they are too. The doors swung open. Curious eyes shot over. The moment Sterling saw me glued to Adrian, his vision went black. You little punk, what is this? Adrian blinked innocent eyes. You guys said if I got a girlfriend I should bring her home. Why you? Sterling sputtered, too furious to finish. I whispered, any history of heart trouble? Adrian shook his head. Full physical every 6 months, rock solid. Cool. Time to shine. I beamed, loud and proud. Hi, Mr. and Sterling. I'm Luna, 23. I graduated from the middle school class next door to the tech college next door to the best uni in Eastbrook. My homeroom was Ligon's class prez and music rep, but hey, ancient glory. The family sat frozen, probably never met shamelessness at this altitude. I chuckled. I get it, rare to see perfection. I keep a low profile, my resume's complicated. Someone caved. What resume? Exactly what I was fishing for. I cleared my throat. I'm a die-hard reader of Assert. I'm Nobel laureate, a lifelong fan of national heroes, and every New Year's I collect my slice of the billion-dollar streaming bonuses. None of which I usually brag about. Adrian covertly lifted a thumb. That's a lot of words. A cold laugh cracked the silence. The guy who'd been slouched in the corner scrolling his phone was now upright, eyes pinned on me. Our gazes collided, icy embarrassment shot up my spine and I wanted a hole to swallow me. Adrian coughed. Little uncle. Wait, this uncle? Julian is Adrian's uncle? They're basically the same age. His stare burned holes in me. I inched backward, ready to bolt. Adrian caught me. Where are you going? We're winning and you're quitting? Why didn't you tell me your uncle's name is Julian? If I'd known, nothing could have dragged me here. Adrian frowned. You know him? He only looks scary. You took the cash. I hissed, this isn't about money. The problem isn't that he's hard, it's that I already had him. When I still insisted on fleeing, Adrian panicked. Fine, extra 50 grand, no, 100. Final payout, 1.8 million. I froze, counted to 3 in my head, then slipped my arm back through Adrian's and cooed for the whole room. Adrian, you're so good to me. I love you. Our money. Crack, a glass shattered. Julian stood, elegant and cool. Clumsy me. Carry on, I'll clean up. He headed upstairs. For with Julian gone I turned the cringe to max, racking up hatred points. Yet the Sterlings had steel manners, they still seated me for lunch even though Adrian had to force the issue. At the table Julian finally reappeared and, out of 12 chairs, chose the one beside me. Excuse me? Exes should keep a 5-mile radius. Did no one teach him? Apparently not. Adrian, deep in character, dropped crown daisy greens on my plate. Lovey-dovey, sweetheart, your favorite veg, eat up. He was improvising and feeding me the one thing I despise. Seriously, grudge much? Julian chuckled. Not eating? Don't like WH. At your boyfriend picked? The already quiet table flatlined. Everyone stared. Why on earth does the uncle care? Afraid Julian saw through us, Adrian jumped in. Impossible, been together forever, I know Luna best. Right? Right. I nodded. Crown daisy greens are my jam. I forked the leaf and swallowed, eyes probably watering. Julian's smile was arctic. Glad to hear it. He dumped a mountain of the greens into my bowl. Plenty more, guessed. My pupils shook. Thanks. Uncle. You're welcome. Was I going to eat them? Hell no. I turned to Adrian. I'm stuffed, babe, finish this for me? Julian's voice chilled. Already full? Yep, fairy-sized stomach. I clasped Adrian's sleeve. Sugary sweet, please? A girlfriend's leftovers are a boyfriend's duty. Adrian finally caught the cue. Oh, totally. My bowl was basically untouched, he only needed to fake a bite. But before he could reach it, Julian plucked the bowl from the table, walked to the trash, and scraped every grain into the bin. Sorry, Luna, Sterlings don't do leftovers. Me oh. Then I guess the leftovers I used to feed certain dogs were a myth. Whatever. 5 that afternoon Adrian cornered me. Sterling and Sterling were softening, time for the kill shot. He wanted me to stay at the estate a few days. I gawked. You never mentioned sleepover camp. Just till they're thoroughly disgusted. Then we ghost, he begged, palms together. I'll dump you in 2 weeks, bring my angel home a month later, problem solved. I paid 2 million. Fine, once again I bent the knee to mammon. Ground rules, separate bedrooms, or I walk. Adrian folded his arms across his chest. In your dreams. I rolled my eyes hard. I'm even prettier in real life. Otherwise he wouldn't have paid me this much to perform. The Sterlings didn't react much to my staying over. Probably because the daytime bombshells had already maxed out their shock quota, now they were just stabilizing their emotions. And of course I couldn't let such a perfect opportunity for chaos go to waste. So at midnight I messaged Adrian to plug his ears, then cranked the Bluetooth into rock and roll mode. How loud? I was mentally booing myself for being a public nuisance. 15 minutes later someone knocked. While turning the knob I rehearsed poses. If it's a maid, the butler, or one of the older Sterlings ready to toss me out, which angle lets me hit the floor gracefully? If they literally throw me out, maybe I can sue for a little extra cash. I beamed my most innocent, punch-worthy smile. Who is it? What can I do for you? The grin evaporated the instant I saw Julian. What do you want? Ah, not playing strangers anymore? Julian arched a brow. Weren't you calling me little uncle yesterday? Say it again, little uncle, I dare you. Are you sick? I gave him my best Euromoron stare. If the symptoms flare, get Adrian to drive you to the psych ward, I'm off duty. The second I said Adrian, Julian's eyes darkened, danger glinting inside them. Don't mention Adrian to me. Oh hell, and I've got a short fuse. My paycheck gets a pass, you, ex-boyfriend, are nothing. Adrian, 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 stir. On the 6th Adrian my mouth was clamped shut by a hand, and Julian yanked me inside the room, the door slamming with one smooth sweep of his arm. I slapped at Julian's forearm, signaling I couldn't breathe. Feeling my struggle, he eased up a fraction but didn't remove his palm. Attempted murder much? I managed, gulping air. He didn't answer, just kept staring down at me, lashes low. After a beat his hand shifted, one finger pressed softly against my lips, then released. The pressure blanched my mouth for a second before color rushed back. Julian's gaze grew heavier. Did you miss me? The curse on my tongue stalled. We'd been apart for ages, Was that even an appropriate question? More importantly, I was officially Adrian's girlfriend now. I dodged his touch. We're over. I never agreed to break up, he muttered. Relat. Ion ships need two yes, breakups only need one. He pulled his hand back, eyes an unreadable abyss. Why did you end it? The obsession that had haunted him for years. Why? I could blame fragile pride, or the fact that I'd wanted to shut the whole world out back then. Either way, the ship had sailed. It's late, I said, face blank. What exactly did you come here to say? Realizing he wouldn't get the answer he craved, Julian let the hand that had braced the doorframe drop. A mocking smile hooked his lips. Nothing important. Just reminding you, almost all the Sterlings moved to the guest villa. Right now it's just you, me, and Adrian in this wing. Crank the Bluetooth as loud as you want, no one will hear. My brain short-circuited. So my eardrums nearly bled for nothing? I'm into self-harm now? Fine, message received. I wasn't in the mood for a stroll down memory lane, so I shoved him out, efficient and brisk. Don't let the door hit you, bye. I've always had trouble sleeping in strange beds. My night at the Sterling estate was patchy. Fragmented dreams plagued me, including a visit from Julian of 3 years ago. He looked almost the same, remote, aloof, practically wearing a Keep OFF sign. I, of course, took that as a challenge. I hunted down his name and schedule, engineered daily coincidences, and finally, exhausted by my racing heart, walked up and confessed. I cornered him by the campus track. Julian, want to try being my boyfriend? Try what, exactly, Luna? He'd chuckled, hands in pockets, towering over me. So nervous I overlooked the fact we'd never been introduced, yet both used each other's names without hesitation. Try dating me. I know this seems random, but I swear I'm amazing. Lose me and you'll regret it for life. I spat it all out in one breath, self-hype included, afraid I'd chicken out. Amusement danced in Julian's eyes. Deal, girlfriend. From that day we were official. At first I worried he'd be cold, allergic to PDA, generally moody. Wah. If I'd only fallen for his face? How would I back out? Turns out I'd stressed for nothing. Far from icy, Julian was a model boyfriend, and clingy. On school breaks, when we were long distance, he'd bust to my city without telling me. Sometimes he'd just watch me from afar and leave, afraid of interrupting. When we weren't together he'd spam me, Luna, missing me yet? Luna, thought about me during lunch? Luna, dreamed of me? I always answered yes, then asked, why keep asking? Didn't other couples talk about normal stuff? Silence stretched on the other end until a single reply popped up, because I'm thinking of you. I hope when I think of you, you're thinking of me too. In Julian's world that was love and sync, two souls tuned to the same frequency, meant to find each other. Reading that, I melted. I couldn't believe someone this hot could be this pure. I grabbed my phone, typed furiously, hit send, then yanked the quilt over my head and zonked out. I miss you too, every single day. Morning. I rubbed my puffy, tear-sticky eyes and greeted Adrian. Morning. What happened to your face? He gasped. Stayed up crying over a tragic romance novel, I lied. We're just employer and employee, he won't dig, and even if he does, I owe him zero explanation. Apparently the Sterlings couldn't stand the sight of me. Only 3 people showed for breakfast in this villa. Since no audience meant no performance, I decided to inhale my food in peace. But why, at this colossal table, was I still the filling in a sandwich? I flashed my sweetest death ray smile. Don't you two feel squished? No other seats available? I want to sit with you, Luna, Adrian crooned, still in character. And you? I glared at Julian. Go park yourself elsewhere. It was his fault I'd dream crashed all night and woke up swollen. Adrian hissed, Luna. That's no way to speak to little uncle. Little uncle, please don't be mad, that's just how Luna is, he added, clearly hoping to cement Julian's bad OPI. Nyan of me. Perfect setup for when his real girlfriend arrives, Uncle's scowl will be ready. Couldn't be better. Acting as if the seat steaming weren't aimed at him, Julian lifted his coffee elegantly. Luna, unless memory fails, this is the Sterling residence. Steam whooshed out of me. I grabbed my plate and stomped to the far diagonal, maximum distance from Julian. For $2 million, I'll swallow it. I beamed at Adrian, my walking jackpot, already picturing beach resorts funded by him. My grin climbed higher and higher, until Julian's face soured like he'd lost his inheritance. Cutlery clashed louder and louder until he slammed his knife and fork down. Luna, eyesight failing? 20/20ths, thank you. Could pass a pilot's medical. He wouldn't drop it. At meals one should focus. Staring at others is rude. I set my fork down, stared hard for 2 beats, then fired back, advice noted, and returned, little uncle. Adrian looked left, looked right, sensing weird vibes he couldn't name. My girl's birthday is today, I have to show. Adrian sprang this disaster on me 5 minutes before leaving. I wanted to strangle him. And you're telling me now? Leaving me solo in the lion's den, pro or not, that's awkward. The second he's gone it's just Julian and me. I'm half convinced he'll throttle me and bury the body. Kidding. Mostly. You will come back tonight, right? I pleaded, clinging like Velcro. I even delivered a tearful farewell at the door. Come home early, hear me? As I waved, an arctic draft licked my spine. I pivoted, Julian stood there like a ghost. Can't bear to see him leave? Absolutely, I shot back. He stepped closer. Where's he better than me? One step of his, one retreat of mine, until my back hit the wall and I had to brace a palm against his chest. Personal space, please. Ignoring me, Julian wrapped my wrist around his waist and clamped a hand on the small of my back, sealing the gap. We've overlapped closer than this, scared now? Answer me, Luna, what edge does he have over me? Heat flared in my cheeks, anger, embarrassment, take your pick. I'm Adrian's girlfriend, and he calls you little uncle. I hurled the twisted relation at him like a life raft for his sanity. Julian stayed silent, stubbornly waiting for an answer that wasn't coming. A few seconds later, instinct told me to dodge the subject, so I started babbling. He's young, amazing in bed, and lasts forever. Happy now? Let go. Luna. Julian's eyes narrowed, voice low. When we dated you were 19, we never went that far. How do you know he's better than me? Me? My brain short-circuited. He's actually comparing. The hand around my waist tightened, Julian's gaze almost obsessive, words flying out before he could stop them. Then let's test it right now, see who's better. Half an hour earlier I'd already forgotten what I'd said. I only remembered slapping Julian and sprinting away. Now I sat alone in my room, trying to cool off and figure out my next move. I stayed there until evening, when a text arrived from that jerk Adrian, not coming home tonight, good luck. Rage flared, I grabbed my phone and typed, are you even human? A millisecond before send, the $2 million payout yanked me back to sanity. I deleted the rant and answered, oh. Hope he feels the frost and my resentment. Since the boss isn't supervising, I decide to slack off a little. I scrubbed the heavy makeup off, slapped on a sheet mask, and planned to sleep like a baby. Half asleep, I kept dreaming someone was muttering in my ear, asking why we broke up, asking if I still loved him. I didn't want to answer, but he actually tucked my hair behind my ear. A damp warmth brushed my lobe. Annoyed, I mumbled, yes, love you, okay? Geez, leave me alone. Silence returned, I happily sank back into dreamland. I'd just dreamed Dad was simmering a giant braised pork knuckle, so fragrant it should be illegal. A whole crowd dove in to fight me for it, cousins, random aunties, uncles, CI. Wriggling like vultures. I almost didn't get a single bite, scared me to death. Morning. Remembering only Julian and I were in the house, I threw on whatever and headed downstairs. Big mistake. The entire Sterling clan, minus Adrian, sat in the dining room, every pair of eyes glued to me, faces grim. My gut screamed, intervention time. They've probably held a family tribunal and are about to toss me out. Come eat, Julian called, acting like nothing happened. I obeyed. Few empty seats left. I took the one with a chair between Julian and me. The second my butt hit the cushion, Julian stood up, yanked the buffer chair away, and dragged me, chair and all, right next to him. Jaw, floor. Sterling faces, charcoal. Julian settled back down and announced to the table, I like Luna. I'm going to pursue her and make her my girlfriend. Have you lost it? I stared like he was a escapee from psych ward. Do you even hear yourself? Reminder, to everyone here, I'm still Adrian's girlfriend. Julian stayed chill, I know exactly what I'm saying, and I've thought it through. Besides, pursuit is one-sided, it doesn't require mutual consent. Sterling half shouted, Adrian's prank is bad enough, why are you, words failed her. What have we done to deserve this? Sterling's face matched the coffee pot. If you still call me your older brother, take it back, now. Fine, then I'll call you Sterling. Rebellion dripped off Julian. Hearing his full legal name from his little brother, Sterling exploded, you little bastard. I never touched breakfast, chaos ignited before the toast cooled. Nobody reached for the food, if I'd started nibbling I'd have glowed like a neon sign, so I sat frozen. Finally, unhinged Julian hauled me out of the war zone. He dropped the act altogether, marched me to his room, parked me in front of his computer, opened a chat window and clicked a folder. Fresh, steaming photos popped up, Adrian and a sweet smiling girl holding hands, cuddling, even kissing. Ultra HD, 0. Photoshop, the girl was clearly Adrian's girlfriend, his lovesick grin on full display. You creep, why are you spying on them? I blurted. Julian clenched his jaw. That's your takeaway? He's cheating, can't you see? Oh, right, cheating. I switched to tragic face in a heartbeat. Then, what should I do? He cupped my cheeks, dead serious. Dump him. Be with me. Sounds kinda wrong. Openly stealing your nephew's girl, bold move. Nothing's wrong, Luna. He messed up first. His voice dropped to a satanic whisper. People who screw up deserve to pay. Julian's eyes locked on mine, scanning brow to nose to lips. No one spoke, but the gap kept shrinking. Breath mingling, mouths almost touching. I finally came to, slapped a hand over his lips. Hold up. I need to think. His gaze lit up, zero disappointment at the interruption. Sure, take all the time you need. He hesitated, then added, even if you decide not to break up, that's okay. Adrian betrayed you, so if you date me it's just punishment for his disloyalty. So don't stress. Me? Was that pep talk for me, or therapy for himself? Which of us is more twisted here? When Adrian finally came home he sensed the vibe was off but couldn't name it. His clever little brain concluded I must have dropped some epic bomb, money well spent. Sterling watched her ecstatic son, words stuck in her throat. Adrian, oh boy. Mom, why the long face? Adrian grinned. Luna and I are great, she's just a little wild, total sweetheart underneath. Julian had already shown the cheating photos to the family. Sterling knew Adrian screwed up. Still, maternal guilt kicked in. Maybe call it quits. You two aren't right for each other. Adrian's heart did cartwheels. So what type do you think suits me, Mom? Seeing an opening, Sterling rushed. Any type is fine, no need for pedigree or poise, just somebody else. The more she talked the shakier she sounded. She had zero clue how to explain the circus now running in the living room. Ah, gotcha. ADR. Ian beamed, feigning calm. I'll think about it. The instant the words left his mouth Julian descended the stairs. He glanced at Adrian, cool, casual, laced with disdain. After Julian passed, Adrian slid to Sterling, whispering, Mom, did you catch that side-eye? Pretty sure he just cussed me out telepathically. Haha, imagination, honey. Sterling's teacup rattled in her trembling hand. For household peace she'd burned through a lifetime quota of lies in one afternoon. Really? Anyway, where's Luna? I need her. Adrian figured mission accomplished, time to cut my paycheck loose. The moment Sterling heard that she blocked him, let Luna rest. Mom misses you, stay and chat. But we had dinner together 2 days ago. Shush, all moms are like this. Sure. Adrian accepted it. I'll hang till after dinner, then track her down. 14 Either the Sterlings have titanium nerves or they binge drama for sport. By the next meal they pretended zip had happened. Adrian still playing devoted boyfriend. Luna, seat right here. I obeyed. Before my but hit the chair Julian parked himself on my left. Adrian hadn't even unfolded his napkin when Julian plopped a peeled shrimp on my plate. Your favorite. Adrian? Excuse me, whose girlfriend is this? Adrian, eat up, didn't you say you were starving? Sterling cut in. Adrian nodded, mouth already full. Julian skipped the acting, stared at me the entire meal. Luna, are you happy here? Adrian suddenly asked, like he'd been possessed by a talk show host. I nodded. Yep. Great. You're bonding with my family, puts my mind at ease. He chewed and continued, that project I told you about? Done. Final payment should hit in a couple days. Wow, awesome. Shock overtook me, mission complete? Looks like Julian's sabotage speedran the timeline. Suddenly my left hand was captured under the table, finger squeezed once. I turned, stone-faced Julian had set down his chopsticks and was now secretly holding my hand amid the clatter of silverware. I inched him back, hint to knock it off. He saw his chance and went full throttle, threading our fingers together, locked tight. Uncle, I murmured, aren't you going to eat? Move your right hand and pick up your fork. Not hungry, Julian answered gently. Huh? No appetite? Adrian chimed in. Maybe head upstairs and rest, sitting here must be tiring. No need. Julian's smile evaporated, he sensed a challenge. I like it here. Question mark. Adrian didn't get it, but let it go. After dinner I locked myself in my room to decompress. Dad's video call lit up the screen, Mom leaned in beside him, both beaming. Sweetie, what be you been up to? Nothing much, work, commute, lie around scrolling. Same white lie as always. Dad pressed, happy lately? Missing your two abandoned elders? Yes, 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 terribly. I laughed. You guys are young, how are you abandoned elders? Then I'm a lonely only child. Nope. Dad corrected, you're a lonely young adult. And we were off on our usual roast session, my mind catapulted back to the days when life was nothing but easy laughs. We chatted casually for a little over 10 minutes. When company arrived at the house, we finally got ready to hang up. Before the call ended, Dad couldn't help but remind me, don't put so much pressure on yourself at work, being happy and safe is what matters most. Got it. Love you guys. I ended the call, closed my eyes, and lay on the bed, letting the memories drift. I thought about sophomore year, when I met Julian, then a senior. By my junior year he was already swamped with launching a tech startup under the Sterling family banner. Even with the Sterlings behind it, carving out space in Eastbrook wasn't easy. So he was crazy busy. That was also the year a rumor blew up back home. Someone, I still don't know who, carried news of my relationship to my parents. Except the story wasn't about some promising young heir, it claimed I was kept by a pot-bellied, greasy middle-aged man. They said I'd climbed the social ladder on my looks, kept lowering my standards for cash, even used the old guy's money to keep boy toys on the side. It was detailed, blurry photos, times, and places, the works. Eventually the gossip reached Dad. He'd heard I was coming home for break and wanted his famous braised pork knuckle, so he hit the farmer's market at dawn. On the way back, a neighbor repeated the rumors. Dad lost his temper, tried to argue, and in his rush stepped into traffic. I don't remember how I got to the hospital, only the doctor saying he might never wake up. After hours of police questions, the truth pieced itself together, ugly and undeniable. Luna, did you? Mom's voice shook as she forced out the question. Tears fell before I could answer. I'm sorry, baby. Don't blame Mom. She dabbed my cheeks, her own words cracking. I'm not doubting you, I was terrified someone hurt you. Whatever happens, I'm on your side. Dad lay unconscious, our tiny family felt bombed. She only wanted the facts, I knew that. We held each other and cried until sunrise and sunset came and went outside the corridor. A year later Dad opened his eyes. I told myself I was still blessed. A knock sounded. I blinked awake and exhaled softly. It's all in the past. Everything will be okay. Who is it? I opened the door, no surprise, Julian. Late night honor visit, what's the occasion? Feeling historical, Luna? Your humble scholar is at your service. Hard pass. The phrase historical girlfriend made my skin crawl. Ignoring me, he asked straight out, let me come in for a minute. I stepped aside. The moment the door shut he pulled me into a solid, warm cage of arms. Let me hold you. His voice was muffled, stuffy. Had he been crying? Well, I guess he can have the hug. Luna, do you miss me? This time he didn't wait. I miss you every single day. I didn't even realize how much I love you until it physically hurt. Insomnia, chest pain. Sometimes I dream you came back, we made up, then I wake up and you're gone again. My heart cramped, my eyes stung. I patted his back. He kept talking, half to me, half to himself. I kept planning to hunt you down. Then I heard your voice, saw you standing in front of me, only you were someone else's girlfriend. Luna, you have no idea how jealous I am. No idea. Hot tears hit my neck. Slowly I wrapped my arms around him. Voice trembling, I said, Julian. I missed you too. So much. So damn much. I thought I was strong enough to face any storm. So I stopped hiding and told him the past 3 years, piece by piece. Julian, you might not get it, no one could. To 23-year-old Luna, it's old news I can finally talk about. But to 20-year-old Luna, it felt like everything was my fault. My family almost died because of me. I couldn't forgive myself. The only coping tool I had was to shut down and run. I'm so sorry, I had no idea, Julian said, paler than me. It's my fault, no. Not yours, not mine. The police caught the rumor starter quickly, a middle school classmate from my neighborhood who'd asked me out and been rejected. Unfortunately, we ended up at the same university. Before he could start harassing me again, he discovered I was dating campus legend Julian, a couple so picture perfect the whole school shipped us. Realizing he couldn't compete, jealousy devoured him. Rot breeds in dark corners, with the help of other vermin, it spreads. So it was the cockroaches and rats' fault, not ours. He was expelled and did jail time, I said. He'll be scuttling in the dark for the rest of his life. Julian's eyes were bloodshot, guilt chewed at him. He silently vowed the guy would pay. So you broke up because you blamed yourself. I nodded. I was drowning, I didn't know how to face life. I'd even thought, if Dad never wakes up, I'll, thank God. Thank God I found you again, Julian echoed. Day 1 of our second chance, we fell asleep wrapped around each other. Day 2, Julian shamelessly turned up the heat, I admit I cave. Day 3. Something felt off. He hadn't asked about Adrian. When he tried to nuzzle me again, I blocked him. You're acting weird. I'm not. Then why haven't you mentioned Adrian? Happy days, let's not jinx it. I stared until it clicked. Did this idiot think he'd stolen me away, proud little homewrecker? He panicked under my glare. Adrian cheated, what we're doing is nothing. Why bring him up? Regretting it? He got louder, too late for regrets, and dived at me, pinning me in a full-body hug. The protest died under his mouth. No gentleness left, he kissed like he was starving, nipping, claiming. And the refusal only made him wilder. Don't say no, Luna. I love you more than he ever could, he doesn't even know what you like to eat. Way past midnight I was half-conscious, hissing, animal, stop biting. Morning came, he was the picture of innocence, waiting for me to wake. Satisfied, Luna? You certainly looked satisfied. I really was. He chuckled. I rolled my eyes and spilled the beans. Adrian and I are fake. He paid me to play his nightmare girlfriend and torture his parents, your brother and Sterling, until they beg him to bring home the real one. I'm basically the sacrificial brick to lure out the jade. Julian's jaw dropped. Humans shouldn't be able to think like that. Adrian's definitely missing a few screws. He tumbled down the stairs as a kid landed on his head. Curious, I asked, how'd it happen? Well, Julian mused, I'd just learned to walk. I sneaked him out of the nursery while the nanny wasn't looking. I was too short to reach the elevator button, so I pushed the stroller down the stairs instead. It flipped. Kids got the devil's own luck. The day we went public, not a single objection popped up. Mom and Dad were thrilled I'd found someone I loved, they wanted my life crowded with people who mattered. Even the Sterling clan greeted the news with champagne smiles. I nudged Julian. How'd your folks accept it so fast? I gave them the summary beforehand, don't worry, I dumped all the blame on Adrian. I gave him a thumbs up. Well played. Zero guilt on my part. Adrian changed the contract at the last minute and only wired the final 800 grand. When he learned Julian and I were back together, he had the nerve to call the missing million a matchmaking fee. $1 million? What kind of rip-off Cupid charges that? I was still glaring at the payment app when Julian leaned over. That's it? Kiss me and I'll add a few more zeros. My eyes sparkled. How many zeros? Depends on your performance. He played coy. 4 or 5, at least. Whoa, loaded. He nodded. All yours, and so am I. Thanks for listening. If you liked the story, hit like and share it with friends. Drop your thoughts in the comments, subscribe for more, and see you next time.